All right, welcome to our live stream. We're doing part 2 of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Ringo Starr's drum part in the song. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, we kind of worked through the intro and the verse. Let's just do a review, a little recap, and we'll keep a slower tempo. So hopefully you've worked on it a bit if you're following these videos live, or if you're following them in sequence. You know, you've worked on the exercises, the ideas that we went through yesterday, and then you can apply them more at faster tempos now. All right, here's 71. Let's just get the idea down. Let's do this measure instead. So get those eighth notes. I need to turn on the loop function. Otherwise, we can only do the whole song in fixed. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now let's hit those 3, and then we'll recap the fill. So as I'm listening to the click, because I have to wait 3 measures to come in, I'm just going to get that 8th note going, and kind of maybe do that idea from yesterday where I maximize my volume and minimize my volume, and just get that groove down, and trying to stay right with the metronome. So nice and quiet, medium, loud. And this next time I'll come in, go back to that medium that I really want to keep. 2, 3, 4. So, and I kind of like flubbed up on one of those kicks as well. Just doing that on repeat, thinking about that, you get lulled into thinking kick, 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 and then all of a sudden you're not paying attention and you come back to that first measure, kick. So just be aware of that. Which is nice about doing it at 71. It just gives you time to think about everything you're doing. All right, let's do those 3 at 95. And 95 would be full speed. Now, it looks like we might have one person watching live. If you're watching live and you have questions about this beat, if you have suggestions for other songs, let us know. If you want to check out this tab at our website or the sheet music for drums, check it out. The link is below. If you want to look at just our website and see what songs we have, we're breaking down more of these. Who knows what it'll be next week. Same thing. I'm going to start the exact same way. I'm going to get that idea of those 8th notes down. Just sit there and groove. And just try to stay right on the metronome. 2, 3, 4. Cool. Again, if it's difficult for you, repeat that a bunch of times. Just loop it, loop it, loop it. All right, so we're going to go back to 71 because I'm sure anyone who's worked on this feel knows that it's a little bit difficult, and we want to just get that rhythm back. That's kind of how I mean, like, essentially these deconstructions are me practicing and breaking it down how I would learn it. So on this one, you know, if I'm practicing it for the second day, I'm going to go to a slower tempo, get that rhythm back, kind of see where I left off yesterday and build on that. Speaking of building on it, let's just do half that measure then. One and two, a one and two, a one and two, a one, two. And I can hear, you know, I wasn't thinking about doing it this way, breaking it down from the intro, but I was like, man, we probably should repeat this. But now all of a sudden my brain's not thinking about that rhythm. One and two, a one and two, a one and two. Let's try that again. One and two, a one and two. And I'm really not worried about that ghost note right now. I probably should be. I should probably be adding that in. One and two, a one and two, a one. So, like, just because I did not warm up on this today, I'm playing a little sloppy, so I'm ignoring the ghost note. You should do the same thing if it's difficult for you at first. All right, so the second half of this measure is 3 enda E end. 3 enda for E end. Three, 4, 3 enda. Oh, I gotta use the right hands. So actually, I'm gonna practice 3 enda E end. 3 enda. Three enda E end. For E end, 3 enda for E end, 3 enda for E end. All right, let's put that whole measure together. One and two, a 3 and a 4 E end. 1 and 2, a 3 and a 4 E end. A 3 and a 4 E end. 1 and 2, a 3 and a 4 E end. 1 and 2, a 3 and a 4 E end. One and two, a 3 and a 4 E end. 1 and 2, a 3 and a 4 E end. 1 and 2, a 3 and a 4 E. So I'm gonna try to put it all together. I can tell that I'm gonna be a little rough on that fill yet. So actually, if I know I'm gonna be rough, instead of us all having to live through that and hearing me suck at it, let's slow it down a little bit. Let's get this fill down, and then we'll try to put that all together at 71. One and two, a three and a three and a 4 E and 1 and 2, a 3 and a 4 E and. One and two, a 3 and a 4 E and. Now, I'm being extremely picky about me rushing a beat or whatnot. If you're practicing this, just do your best, get the idea down. I want to just make sure it's good as you practice it so you kind of hear a good representation. So I'll stop myself more maybe than you should. All right, let's do 65. All right, I'm going to go back to 71, see if I can pull that off, and then we'll put it all together. Two, 3, 4, 1 and 2, a 3 and a 4 E and 1 and 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and. Now we're going to put that whole section together. So this will be 71, and we'll see how it goes. That groove. 1 and 2, and I was gonna play something different there, and I shouldn't have. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2, a 3 and a 4 E and 1 and. Okay, let's look at the verse kind of in that same lens. We'll probably do it quicker because I don't want this whole next video to be a total recap of what we did. We'll do some loop videos and we'll post those online as well. Let's just get this. Let me get that metronome or that timing. Actually, kick. Yeah, let's work on this beat for a second. At 71, or this measure for a beat a bit. Just to get this groove down. And then we'll kind of move on quicker. get to some new stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and I gotta put that kick in there. 3, 4. All right. Because I want to move on. We'll recap those fills in a loop video. Let's work on something new. We're going to ignore the dynamics for a second and just introduce these new concepts. So on this pre-chorus, we're going with a kick, kick, snare, kick. So it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. So it sounds like 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, let's bring that to 60 so you have a small slow is the word I was looking for, a slow loop to play to. So first just click it out. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and. Easy to rush when you're playing this slow. 1 and 2 and 3. I think you got to be comfortable playing slow over and over again. It will allow you to understand stuff better. It'll, you can focus on your mechanics differently. I was really working on just making sure my right leg is doing exactly what I want. Speaking of exactly what I want, I have to play eighth notes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So we're actually going to ignore that snare for a second and just use this as a good kick drum exercise. One and 2 and 3 and. Same thing. Don't rush. This should be talking to myself. When I'm trying to talk and play at the same time, sometimes I make mistakes. 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and. And you kind of hear I'm putting in, my foot gets a little sloppy at that tempo, that slower tempo. And I sometimes get those little double kicks in there. Just something to work on. All right, let's move to the chorus. Because I feel like that pre-chorus, for the most part, is repeating those ideas. So we're just changing up the kick drum pattern now. Let me get this BPM over here for us. And we're going to start slower because we didn't cover this last time. So you kind of had a little bit of review, and now here's some new stuff. Make that smaller. So again, we see a lot of kick drum stuff throughout. Hi-hats are loose. We're going to ignore that for a second and just focus on getting the beat down, and then we can open up our hi-hat. Part of that, though, too, is when I'm playing with heel up, you know, I'm getting that kick drum to bounce nice. My right leg's elevated. Well, when I'm playing open hi-hat, I'm going to have to elevate as well. So it becomes a little bit of a... Let's actually do that as an exercise. We're just going to play eighth notes. Because looking at measure 2 of the course, we're going to have to do that anyway. It'll be a little endurance thing. So actually we'll highlight measure 2. And then again, I'm going to play just eighth notes on the hi-hat and get comfortable. And then bring in the kick. And not rush. And you would think just all I'm doing is ignoring the snare and ignoring the open hi-hat, but just getting those to line up all the time. And you kind of hear that little brah, brah, brah in my playing. Be consistent with the slow speed. Three and 4 and force myself. 4 and 1 and now I'm going to open 3, 4 and 1 and And if you're not a heel up player and that's difficult for you to do, it's a great thing to just sit there and work on. 1 and 2. You know, it should almost be a part of your daily routine anyway. And the fact that we're pulling it out of a song is awesome. And 3 and 4. All right, let's go back to measure 1 and we'll talk about all the rest of those measures. Ignoring the open or loose hi-hat, and we'll just play that kick drum pattern. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now let's open that hi-hat. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. Oh, gotta play the right pattern. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Probably a little bit more. Probably there. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna get eighth notes. Cool. We kind of already played this measure, so let's go ahead of this one. Going back to like how you would treat your exercises or rudiments in the, you know, if you're warming up to learn something, you know, these two kick drum patterns, this second measure of the chorus and the third measure, there's just one kick drum missing. And I think if we keep going a little further, yeah, and this one changes too. So just practicing those 3 variations, with a metronome in your kick is a good thing to work on. All right, let's do this measure, and then we'll put them all together. One and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, okay, that's the same as before. Just gotta watch that kick with that snare. 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So because that right is what we're doing first, my brain I'm kind of zoning out. Just got to make sure I get that kick, kick, snare, kick. Yep, I just, have to pay attention. One, 2, 3, 4, 1. Cool. Now let's try these 2 back to back, because that might throw me for a little bit of loop. Again, you just have to pay attention to your kick drum. If you're struggling with that, just spend a lot of time just working on the kick drum by itself with the metronome. I gotta get that open hi-hat in there. 4. So now let's put those first 3 measures together. And you can kind of hear I want to play it faster. I want to rush that to make it easier for myself to play, but it's good to learn it at this slower tempo. Two, 3, 4. Little mistake there. Let's speed that chorus up to 71, or those 3 measures anyway. Two, 3, 4. heard me put that little ghost kick in again. So you can see at 71, it's just way easier for me to play. I don't have to think so hard. But again, I'll repeat myself a lot, but it's good to play it at a slow tempo. Let's look at this measure, but let's do it at 60 again. Just a lot of different variations on the kick drum. One and two and three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's covered every measure in the pre-chorus. I guess I don't know what happens here. So you have those flams at the end. We'll treat that, or we'll go through that separately. Let's try to get a 4-measure riff going here for the chorus. So here's the kind of the 4 main beats, and we'll probably loop this for 3 or 4 times in a row, if I can keep counting. One, 2, and 3, 4. I'm missing those kick drums, mostly because there's one time I almost dropped my stick and then I had to think. So let's start it over. Two, 3, 4. Nice. All right, let's look ahead. We have those. Oh, actually, let's do this one because it's a little bit of a change in that as well. Let's do 60 though. So I think it's gonna be a little bit easier because it's a different drum beat with the double snares at the end. All right, so first it's just going. We still have our open, our loose hi-hat. I'm going to keep it closed for 1 sec. So it's kick, kick. So it's kick and 4 and 4 and 4 and. So 3 and 4 and. Oh, you could hear that I didn't accent that second snare. 3 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to do that a little bit slower, really get that in my brain. 3 and 4 and my I missed it. All right. 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. So that whole measure, I'm going to keep the hi-hat close for a sec. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. So open up that hi-hat and we'll play with the click. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Minus the speeding up at the end of that. One and 2. I missed the kick on 4. 3. I put an extra kick on that. Let's try to get this right a minute before we speed it up. 3, 4. So, yeah, I mean, if you're running through it and have the same problem that I had that time, I mean, I played, I think, twice in a row good. You know, I wanted to put a kick on 4 because, again, you get used to doing that, and you just want to keep doing that. Just got to think about it. All right, we have these flams. And then we do have a foot hi-hat here as well, so that measure would be ending like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1. 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 And then flam, 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 flam. 1 and. All in the snare. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Probably accent that second one. 1. Ooh, Ringo would be playing it right left. I'm going to play it left right because I'm going to play it better that way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Cool. I say cool and actually too much. All right, let's repeat that measure. So very similar to the pre-chorus. Almost the same beat, so we might just actually ignore that. And then we have this terrible fill at the end. I say we work on this, and then we'll work on loops later. I shouldn't say terrible, just looks difficult. So make sure we're at, let's slow down to that 45 BPM we worked on those other fills for. And because where it's coming from, we'll start from here. But I do think we have some sticking errors in here. John, who does our sheet music writing for us, our tablature writing, maybe didn't think about Ringo being a left-handed drummer, and I did write in the fill from before. But I would write this one with the 16th notes being the right hand as well. So if I can fix this quickly, we're going to kind of show you the thought process behind that. So, and I have to learn it anyway, so it'll work out exactly how we want it to. So you're going 3 and 4. Yeah, so I'm totally going to hit that, and then I'm going to go. So almost everything is going to be the opposite of what it should be right now, but we'll fix it. I'm going to play from the beginning of the measure before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and ah. Okay. Right hand. And then, because Ringo being left-handed, he's going to want to start with his left hand there. So it's delete, delete. And I would probably treat that as left, left, right. We'll see if I'm correct. So I'm just going to take it from 3 of the measure before. So 3 and 4, a 1, 1 and a 1 and a, yeah, left, left, right. So 1 and, so we're starting on 3. I just want to make sure everyone can know what I'm working on. 3, and I'm going all the way to the of 1. So here's where I'm starting. 3 and 4 E and a 1 and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and a 1 1 and a 1 and a. Gotta use the right hands. All right. Sorry, I was making sure the stream was still running. Looks like we're working. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Let's fix the rest of that sticking before we get too far. So I know that the 16th notes, the E's and the U's, are going to be right-handed. And that's the best way to look at it. And then the downbeats are the ones and are the numbers. The numbers and the ands are going to be left-handed. Now this one he had the way that I would play it too, left, right, and then. Yeah, okay. So everything else looks good. Let's for a second ignore the last part of that other measure, and let's just get this part down. So beat 1 and beat 2. So left hand here. So 1 and a, 1 and a. We'll worry about those accents later. 1 and a. Ooh, here is where I don't know. You almost are going to have to do, because you're going from that high tom. So let's see if I can make that work. So left, left, right, left, right. I'm changing what I thought it was. So John wasn't really wrong on this part. And he wasn't really wrong on the other part either. I would just rather prefer to play it how it was most likely played. So now left, right makes more sense. It's going to be interesting because it kind of like goes against some of the other fills, but to get to that high tom, it's the best way to do it. So when we start this, we're going to worry about tom only. We're not going to worry about what's going on in our feet. I want to make sure that that's at 45 BPM because I do not think it is. It is not. 60 might be a little hard to learn that from, or learn that feel. Okay. One and a 2 E end. 1 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 and a 1 and a 2 E end. 1 and a 2 E end. So not too bad. Let's look at the second half. So we got a 3 E and E end. 3 E and E end. What are we hitting first? That tom again. 3 E and I'm going to ignore those accents and just get this part down. And then we can add those in later. 3 E and 3 E and and then E end. 3 E and E end. So I got to get used to going up. E, E, E. So 3 E and 4 E. E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Let's try that with metronome and see how I do. Three E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and just so I think about it. 3 E and 'Now, as you start to get comfortable with that, what you could do is really think about that accent. 3 E and yeah, I don't want it to be such a ghost note that I kind of made it. 3. Don't worry about that timing. I'll fix that. So 3 E and E and. I'm hesitating because I'm thinking about that. But as you get comfortable with it, you can add those things in. So we're going to try that whole measure. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and E and 1 and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and just hands. So because I should have actually broke it down without the metronome a minute to make sure. The left, right, left got me so bad from the end of 2 into beat 3. So that's what messed me up. So let's just break it down slow, make sure I'm playing it right. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So you could see why I might hesitate on that. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and. Yep, okay, I want to make sure I'm playing that right. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 3 E and E and E and. Sorry. All right, we're going to try it again at 45. One and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 Just realized I've been playing it wrong this entire time. It doesn't go to the snare there, it goes to the tom. It kind of makes it a little bit easier to play because I'm not doing that. So I just read that wrong. Good thing it wasn't live. I just read that wrong, and these should have been low toms. But I think I can fix it without having to break it down again. So it should be 1 and 2 E and 3 E and E and. Now that flows way better because I'm just doing this kind of movement here. And 2 E and 3 E and. Nice. Way easier. All right. Sometimes you got to learn something wrong, and then it's a good challenge. That's my excuse. We'll click it out first. 4, 1, and 3 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and that way if you play it right on the right drums. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and So we should probably try to add those kick drums before we go any faster. So just going to do the same thing. We're going to just break it down. In some ways that kick drum helps because it's on the 2 and the 4, and it kind of tells me like 2 E N. Sometimes it might throw me off though. So we'll play it slow like this, just so that we get the movement down. It is 1 and 2 E and 1. And again, what a great exercise, just going 1, 2. And you kind of hear my kick drum, my first one was sloppy. I don't want that. I don't want slop. Probably our tempo's going to be a lot slower than that. But just lining up my left hand, 1 and 2 E and 1. I got to play it right while I'm thinking about talking to you about exercises and whatnot. It's just a great way to go boom, ba da, boom, boom, da, boom, boom, ba da, boom, ba, boom, ba da, boom. For some reason, I don't want to do those two. 1 and and 1 and You know, half the time you should be counting, thinking about it that way, and then it's just learning the pattern. Bum, ba da, bum, ba da, ba da, bum, ba da, ba. Learn the pattern right. Bum, ba da, ba dum. Okay, now I'm going to slow it down so I don't make a fool of myself and play it with kick drum. But it's the same thing. If I can get this da 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 da, all of a sudden I'm just going da da da. I got to think of a note to sing for that. Ba ba da ba ba da ba ba da ba. Now that's throwing me off because I'm not used to it, so we're going to take that away, even though it's a good way. Bum ba dum. Now put the counting back in. 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and. I'm gonna go slow. Put with kick drum. Ba da ba ba da. So I don't love that new ba da da, but it throws me off. Let's try that on a loop. And it is slow. One and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and. Repeat. Because, I mean, I feel a lot of times you're not only learning the song, you're learning the song, but you're learning exercises. You're learning how to play with your kick drum better. You're learning all these things that are teaching you, that the song is teaching you. All right, same thing. We're going to do hands first for a second. We're going to do the right hands, though, and the right drums. Okay. Actually, let's put that with kick. So 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and. You heard my hesitation. 3 E and 4 E and. And again, I'm going to ignore those accents. We'll put those in later. 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Three E and 4 E and 3 E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 3 E and 4. So I'm really just hardcore focusing on getting that metronome lined up and groove with it. 3 E and making sure that the 3 E doesn't drag, because I'm not used to leading with my left hand. 3 E and 3 E and 3 E and 3. But when I start thinking about some of those things, you can hear me mess up, and that's fine. I mean, like, your brain is figuring out this puzzle. Allow it to. Right, we'll do this again. 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Cool. We're going to try to put that whole thing together. Very slow again. We'll click through it first, get the idea, ignoring the kick drums. Ooh, fun idea. Fun is relative. I'm going to click through it, though. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So play the foot and let my hands kind of do the breakup of rhythm for me. 3, 4. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So you can see just by anytime you can make something less complicated, it's going to be the best. You know, I practice this simplified. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. I don't have to think about what drums are going on. I just have to think of that rhythm. Bum, ba da ba ba. While allowing my foot to do what it's supposed to do. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and. Then, when I suddenly have to move to the drums, I don't have to think so much. I just don't want to have to think all the time. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. After I said don't think so much, I thought 3, 4, 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 1 and gotta play on the right drums. 1 and 1 And again, this feels only at 95 BPM. We're going almost half as fast as it's supposed to go. So getting this down, understanding at a slow tempo will allow us to speed it up. So let's speed it up just a little bit. It's only go up by 5. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to keep on starting with our foot every time. Obviously, that's fast, but I don't know. You do it at a couple slow tempos, all of a sudden your brain's like, I totally understand this. I know how this is supposed to work. One and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Something wrong there. And I'm going to actually push that rhythm or that timing up a little bit more. I'll go up to 55. And then tomorrow when I practice this, what I'll do is I'll then worry about putting that accent in. You know, I'll start again at 50 maybe. You know, a slow tempo where I don't have to think about anything and just sit there and play it without thinking, without putting too much effort into it. Then that's a good time to add those accents in. Same thing as we've done. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. Three, 4, 1 and 2 E and 3 E and Which is funny if you've been practicing it from that 45 BPM, it almost sounds like a totally different beat. You know, won't end up. But you can hear the rhythms now. You can. If you hear from where we started from, you're like, oh, this makes sense now. I understand this pattern. Let's do it 55 a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Before we're done today, since we hit an hour and I should probably get onto other work, let's try 60 BPM and see how we do. One and 2 E and 3 E and let's do it how we've kind of approached everything else. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1 and Sorry, drums. But anyway, I think that gives you a good idea of the rhythm. You know, I'll look and see what else is in the song and see if it's tomorrow needs to be another drum day or if we're going to move on to adding bass to some drum tracks. So we will make that decision, and I'll post before we go live. I hope this helps. I hope somebody watches, and if you have any questions, put a comment below. I'd love to answer them. Thank you very much for watching.